What's going on, YouTube? Afternoon to everybody. Happy Wednesday or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you live. And I see we have Mike G is hanging out with us right now. What's going on, Mike? Welcome to, I almost said welcome to After Prison Show. Welcome to Federal Prison Time with RDAP Dan. This is not After Prison Show. It is a show about after prison, however. What's up, Jesse? Jesse Tang in the house. What's up, my man? Sipping on some coffee. Michael B. How's our audio and video going, guys? John Goff, what's going on, buddy? Happy Wednesday, hump day. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week so far. Today we're talking a little bit about why RDAP Dan does what RDAP Dan does. Why I do what I do. So if I can get a mic check right quick. Laggy on my end. Damn it. It might be laggy. But we're going to have to deal with it. I self-surrender in 5 days. Damn, Nick. Sorry, my man. Shannon Ford, what's going on? Shelly Morford says it doesn't match with the lips. It's time for a stronger computer. That's the only answer, guys. I don't know what else to do. So we'll have to deal with it, right? We got to work with what it is today. Shannon Ford, she also has a YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know, she's got a loved one in prison. She's like a prison wife, basically, and she does a lot of YouTube channels. So definitely go check out Shannon Ford, doing great things over there. Yeah, Nick, where you going, buddy? Before we jump into this video. And Jesse, I'm glad you decided to join us. Don't worry, we're going to get Shelly on here very soon, guys. Next week. As a matter of fact, I'm making a promise. Shelly doesn't know it yet. Well, she does because she's probably watching this. But we're going to get Shelly on here next week, and we're going to have a little prison conversation with RDAP Dan, and I guess we can call her RDAP Shelly, maybe. We'll see what she wants to be called. I've been out doing community service. Your lips are moving after you speak. Damn it. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if it's a YouTube thing, a YouTube live thing, because when I'm testing it, it works fine. But the minute I go live, I've got issues. You're going to Lompoc. Nick is heading off to Lompoc. So I take it you're not trying, or you're not, at this point, you're not getting into RDAP, Residential Drug Addiction Program. I feel like I'm watching a Chinese film. Man, that's horrible, Mike. I apologize for that. So let's jump into this. Hopefully, maybe it will just correct itself here. We'll find out in a few seconds. We're gonna jump into this. The reason why I decided to do this video is I receive emails quite often from different people, and sometimes the emails are very useful to create videos because these people have a lot of questions. And I do get the question, especially from friends and family. They're like, why do you do this? Why do you make a YouTube channel? You know, you definitely don't need to go on YouTube and talk, you know, base your schedule around going on here and talking about this stuff on such a regular basis just to get business. You know, you could do that with Facebook advertising or Google AdWords, or, you know, many different ways if I was doing it just to create business. And I try to explain, people that are heading off to federal prison or state prison have never been to prison before. They don't know what to expect. They're terrified. What's up, Jay? We got Jay in the house. Jay's getting ready to get sentenced here soon. Just waiting for the court system to get their shit together. They keep postponing his sentencing. Keep putting those videos out, Jay. I know it's helping with you. But so anyway, so people, when they're preparing to go to federal prison, they just don't know what to expect. Just like myself, when I was going to federal prison, had no idea what to expect. Completely terrified of the unknown. Our only real reference until now was what we saw on TV. And usually what you see on TV is some scary shit. Because if they did reality TV shows or TV programs about this type of prison, camps and lows, it would be pretty interesting to see the public's response. To see, man, this is the type of environment these guys live in. Like, it's not bad at all. So putting out these videos is to help reduce some of the fear, the anxiety, the suicide attempts, and hopefully just overall giving out good content to help somebody get ready to go. So we're going to jump into this email. This is the email I got earlier today. Came home from doing my community service, which I'm having a blast. I'm doing it over an animal shelter, so doing good things. So anyway, let's go into this video. This came over at 3:30 my time, about 2 hours ago. Good afternoon, Dan. I came across your channel about a week ago. I was looking up information online as to what I might expect, being I'm facing possible prison time for my involvement in creating false documents to assist a client of ours for the approval process for major real estate commercial property. I know that I possibly might be looking at 3 to 5 years from what our attorney has told us. My attorney mentioned RDAP being a way that I could reduce some time. He was not very clear on how that process works. I started Googling information and I found several articles with complicated information. I kept seeing the name RDAP DAN pop up. I clicked on one of your videos and within 5 minutes, I had more of an understanding from you than I did from all of the other information. I cannot thank you enough for the information you're putting out. You come off very genuine. This has been by far the most difficult situation our family has ever dealt with. We feel like we are chasing our tails. We have a beautiful family and a thriving business. I'm so ashamed of the fact that I allowed myself to make this horrible decision that will likely land me in federal prison. Dan, do you offer a service that will help with the understanding of what I can do to possibly take this RDAP class? Or are you able to refer us to someone that can help? I now see how many people are also facing a similar situation. It has been very helpful just talking about this with others. Please feel free to share this if you think it might help anyone else in my situation. You can even provide my email to others. I'm very thankful for this super needed information you have given from your experience. The world needs 1,000,000 RDAP DANs. Thank you, Amanda. Amanda, the world does need 1,000,000 RDAP DANs. And I encourage every single person that is going through this experience to document it and to put the information out there because it reaches people. People connect, they relate, they realize that they're not alone, that there's hundreds and thousands of other people that are also getting in trouble for the first time, facing a prison sentence, the unknown, probably not going to be the end of the world. However, it feels like the end of the world at the time. When you first get in trouble and you find out you might be looking at, a couple of years to several years, whatever it is, it really does feel like the end of the world. Prison is prison. A year of someone's life when you're used to doing things that you want to do, even if you're getting sentenced to 12 months. I understand there's many people out there that have done serious time and they're like, 12 months, I wish. But it's all relative to what you're used to. So you can't relate to somebody doing prison time. You can only relate to what a year feels like at the time of hearing it. And it's terrifying. It's scary. When I was originally looking at 10 to 15 years, I was pretty terrified. And then when they offered me a plea of saying the most I could get was 60 months, I was still terrified. I didn't want to do anything. Any time was too much time. So people that are going into prison, guys, if you make videos and you put these videos out, people watch. I mean, YouTube is one of the biggest viewed platforms out there right now. I think it's like right behind Google. There's Google search and then there's YouTube search. And in a lot of cases, whatever you search on Google pops up on YouTube. So if you're out there and you're getting ready to go to federal prison and you're not in a point where you're ashamed of whatever it is and maybe you don't want people to know about it, but if you don't care about, hey, who cares, who knows, they're going to find out anyway, make a video and throw it up on YouTube. And if I see it, I will definitely comment on it, just like Jay. Jay's been posting videos about his situation, and A, it's helping others understand what they're going through and giving somebody else some information to look into, and B, it's helping Jay get stuff off of his chest and deal with the pressure and the anxiety of not being able to discuss these things. So I emailed Amanda back and told her, and I sent her a link to this live stream telling her I was going to be live. So hopefully maybe we'll see Amanda pop up in the room. I don't know. She didn't respond yet, but I told her I was going to answer her questions in the live chat so I can answer for everybody, because a lot of people have those questions. Should I make videos then? Yes, you should, Jesse Tang. Make a video, my man. I would definitely promote your video if you make a video. So what's up, Hunter Moore? Got Hunter Moore in the house. Everybody stop what you're doing and go Google Hunter Moore. He probably hates it when I say that. I like messing with Hunter Moore. Google that monster. Just kidding, it's not a monster. So to answer your question, Amanda, yes, I do offer a service to help people prepare for RDAP. That is something that you and I can discuss. But without hiring anybody, I can give you some information that you're not going to have to pay for. Some free information for you, Amanda. So everybody else plug your ears, because this is only for Amanda. So in order to qualify for RDAP, Amanda, you have to have documented, verifiable substance abuse in your pre-sentence report. If you do not know, I don't know how far along in your case you are. It doesn't sound like you're very deep into it. Your pre-sentence report is a report that will take place after you either accept a plea or if you're found guilty. In most cases, in a federal situation, it sounds like you know what you did was wrong, so it sounds like you're going to end up taking a plea at some point. After you take that plea, you're going to meet with a U.S. probation officer who is going to create and interview you for this pre-sentence report. They're going to go over your financials. They're going to go over your background. They're going to go over your substance abuse. This is the important part. During that substance abuse section, so whenever you originally got indicted, I'm not sure when you were indicted, but when you got arrested for this instant offense, when you got indicted on this charge that we're talking about, if you take that date and you rewind 12 months. So within that time period, there's got to be information in your PSR talking about whether it be excessive drinking, excessive drug use, and drugs could be anything from prescription pills, marijuana, hardcore drugs, alcohol. You know, even if you drink wine on a regular basis and you feel like you can't function without having a couple of glasses of wine, you have to explain this to the probation officer and make sure it's documented in your PSR. That's going to be step one into qualifying for the residential drug addiction program. Second step is going to be your sentence needs to be 24 months or more in order to qualify for any time off. So a 24-month sentence, if you're entered into RDAP pretty much right after getting sentenced, if you enter into the program immediately, you can qualify for up to 6 months. And it goes 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months, depending on your sentence. So if you're sentenced to 37 months or more, you can qualify for 1 year off of whatever sentence is imposed by the judge. So in my situation, if you guys want to break out your calculators and do some math, because everyone goes, how did you serve so little time? On a 42-month sentence, minus your good time first, so you're going to serve 85%, they're automatically going to deduct your good time. So when you get your release date, just based on your good time, it's going to already have your good time calculated in. So like if you go onto the BOP and you look somebody up and you see what the release date is, it already has good time calculated. So in 42 months, minus my good time, I qualified for a year off for RDAP. Then I was given 6 months for halfway house. And then I fought that process through a lady that we hired, same lady that we use now for our clients, to get me additional halfway house. And she got me an additional, she got me 11 months basically total, which I would have gotten the full 12 months of halfway house, except I didn't need 12 months. I only needed 11 months to leave the minute I graduated RDAP. RDAP takes between 10 and 12 months to finish the program. So I served 13 months in prison, and I did 11 months federal halfway house, and part of that was done on home confinement. So all in all, it was not a lengthy sentence compared to what it could have been. I spoke to another lady today who her husband was denied for RDAP, and I think I spoke to you guys. She also emailed me. We talked about that last week. This lady thought her husband was getting into RDAP, had already banked on it, counted it. The attorney said yes, no brainer. Unfortunately, in the pre-sentence report, the alcohol abuse did not start on the pre-sentence report until after he was indicted, which was not true. They took that information and relayed it based on what the attorney told them to do. Now, if they had found a video like this or came across somebody like what I'm doing and spoken to me first, we could have explained to them just like we did Amanda. Amanda has a way better shot at getting into the program just with some basic knowledge. Obviously, you know, it's got to be verifiable substance abuse. You know, if you go in there and you're lying and you're making stuff up, not going to say it's not going to work, but there's a good chance even if you get into the program. And what a lot of people do not understand about the residential drug addiction program, RDAP, is even just getting into it is half the battle. Getting through RDAP is a whole nother phase, guys. Just because you get into RDAP does not mean you're going to graduate, does not mean you're going to get the time off. I see a lot of people that have either been removed from the program, recycled in the program, meaning you get leveled down. You weren't progressing at whatever rate they thought or felt you should be progressing at, and they set you back 3 months. So that can really screw things up, because if, depending how much time you have, if you get recycled in RDAP, you may not have enough time now based on your sentence, and that can disqualify you. People quit. People drop out of RDAP. It becomes so intense. So much anxiety comes with that program because you are living every day on the edge. Because it's inmates are policing you. You're not being policed just by guards and COs and staff members. You're now being policed by the other inmates who are within RDAP. When you sign up for RDAP, you're agreeing to participate in all aspects of RDAP. There's 3 main aspects of RDAP. There's the morning meeting, which they require you to participate in. There's what's called content group, which you're required to participate in. And then there's process group, which you're required to participate in. And when I say required, when you sign up for RDAP, you are voluntarily agreeing that I'm willing to participate in all these areas. If you stop participating, they can kick you out of the program. So the morning meeting consists of, it's a lot of basic stuff. Morning news, they got morning games, they got the weather, they have word of the day, they have thought of the day, different things like that. But the big one that they have is called pull-ups. So if anybody knows anything about RDAP, and you've probably heard horror stories of the pull-ups. Pull-ups are where you have to hold each other accountable. So Hunter Moore, he went through RDAP. He knows all about this. He just got out of prison not too long ago. He's still going through the federal halfway house and home confinement status right now as we speak. So you guys can feel free to pick Hunter Moore's brain. We got him in the room. Hunter Moore is a national celebrity. If you have not Googled Hunter Moore, do it. Just Google Hunter Moore Revenge Porn King, and you will find out all the information you need to find out. The reason why I say this is because of his background. RDAP was extra potentially going to be rough for him. So a pull-up process is, in the morning meeting, they'll ask, does anybody have any pull-ups? And I might have my hand up. And maybe they call me, maybe they don't, because a lot of hands go up. Not everybody's going to get called. They pick on 2 or 3 people, and then you save the rest for the next day. So let's say they call me. God damn it, Dan! I'm gonna throw you under the bus every time, brother. I got to use my celebrity friends for something. He wouldn't hire me though. He hired another prison consultant. So I'm good, but I'm not that good, evidently. I'm just kidding. Hunter's signing off. So raise my hand, and maybe they call me, and then if they do, I say, RDAP participant phase, whatever phase I'm in. Let's say phase 3. Let's say I've been there a while. I know my shit. So they call me. RDAP participant phase 3. This morning, I would like to pull up Mr. Moore. Hunter's like, whoa, we didn't know this was coming. So Hunter stands up, has no idea this is coming. Mr. Moore, yesterday I saw you on the handball court. You were smoking a cigarette with other inmates on the compound, and you know this is not only a BOP, or you know that you're not supposed to be smoking cigarettes. A, it's against RDAP policy, and B, it's against the BOP policy. And you tell him what attitude he was struggling with. You tell him how you want him to correct his behavior. And Hunter's got to sit there with a very clean posture. Can't make any bad body language. If Hunter goes and makes like a face like, damn it, they will see that, and somebody will call him out and say, oh, bad body language. And he could get another pull-up for this bad body language. So it turns into this cycle where you just have to take it, and then 2 or 3 other people will give you some feedback, tell you what else you might be struggling with, give you some ways to work on it, maybe give you some kind of an intervention. You need to go to a class, or you need to go talk to 10 senior peers on why these type of thinking errors could cause you to come back to prison in the future. Because if you can't follow simple rules in prison, how are you going to be able to follow any type of serious rules when no one's watching you? So you've got to go through these processes, and you have to do it. You're required to do it. So you're going to pull people up, and you're going to get pulled up at some point. It makes for a very rough prison environment mentally, because the whole prison environment, the mentality is, snitches get stitches, nobody telling on anybody. But in RDAP, it's the opposite. They're trying to prepare you to have people in your life that are going to hold you accountable, and that aren't just going to go along with any bullshit you want to do, or you're not just going to go along with any bullshit they want to do. Because if anybody in here has been involved in a conspiracy, we all know how easy it is to get into a conspiracy. There's a guy I got a call back tonight that's involved in a conspiracy, and this guy does not even know how he got involved in it. But when you dig down to the root of the problem, the reason why he's involved in a conspiracy is because he's hanging out with some shady people. That's why. He's hanging out with people that are making poor decisions, and he may have been there when something went down. He may have taken a phone call. He may have had the smallest part involved. But when the feds cast that net, they are not just going for the big fish. They want the whale, and they also want that minnow and that guppy and that little snail sitting over there on the side. They want everybody. They want to wrap up as many people as they can, indict as many people as they can, and then use that fear tactic of whoever flips is going to testify at trial if you don't agree to take a plea. So it's a very crazy game that is played in the BOP. It's not like state. If you've ever been in trouble state, you might have beat the case several times. You had a slick attorney, went in there, said some classy shit, boom, you're done, you're out. Feds doesn't work that way. Attorneys aren't going to, you're not going to hire an attorney that's like, yeah, we're going to beat this. You're going to hire an attorney that's like, I'm going to get the best plea I can for you. And all they're going to do, most attorneys, I'm not going to say all attorneys are like this, but most attorneys, and a lot of you in this room will vouch and agree to this, most attorneys, what they do is they get the plea from the prosecutor and then they pitch it to you. They don't just give it to you, they pitch it to you. They sell you on it. We got an awesome deal on the table. Really? What? Probation? Well, not probation, but the next best thing. What did I get? We got it capped. You can't get more than 60 months. Isn't that great? Whoa. 60 months? I don't want to go to prison, though. Well, I mean, we got to be realistic. You're going to go to prison. Now the attorney doesn't know what to say. He's like, fuck, this guy's not buying this car at all. The attorney just is giving you a shitty sales pitch is all he's doing because he knows he can't go back to the prosecutor and go, we're going to trial. Bring it. Take me to the box. It's not happening. Not happening because they know they will get their ass handed to them and they're going to look like a schmuck. So they're going to fight you tooth and nail. That's why you don't hear about anybody going to trial. Very rarely. The feds have such a high success rate in prosecution, and the attorney will use that to pitch you on the plea. When you're like, whoa, I don't want to do any time. Well, I got to warn you, man, prosecution's got like a 98% success rate. So it's like, even if you're innocent, it's really hard to beat the feds when you're in a conspiracy. So you sure, I'll go to trial for you. I'll go there and give my best shot. But and they don't want to go to trial. Most federal attorneys are not trial attorneys. It's very rare to see a federal case go to trial, and then it's even more rare to see it won. One of the co-defendants in my case went to trial and got his ass handed to him. And to this day, I don't necessarily know what law he actually broke, but he still got his ass handed to him because who do you think the jury's going to believe? Do you think they're going to believe a person that's possibly sitting in a jumpsuit in handcuffs, or are they going to believe DEA agents, whoever, depending on if you're in a money laundering situation, maybe you're dealing with, or guns, you're dealing with ATF, drugs, you're dealing with DEA, you might be dealing with Secret Service if you're dealing with money, and then you got the prosecutors, you got all these different agents who are all swearing their testimonies based on facts. And if any of you have been in with, we called you out, Hunter. I see everybody looking you up now. DJ Hunter, you found him, Jesse Tang. Jesse Tang wins the prize. What's he win, Hunter? Go ahead and let him know. But we've all seen it when you're getting interviewed by these agents. They're not, most of the time, and I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and throw out a percentage, 90% of the time, they're not recording the conversation. They're making handwritten notes. So later on, their handwritten notes are their recollection of what went down. And you might be like, that's not what I said. Well, I made a note, so that's what you said. And maybe he manipulated your words, twisted it around, went back through, edited his notes, said, well, he said this, but he probably means this. It's not being word for word. Feds is a different beast. It is just a completely different animal from what anybody is accustomed to, especially if you're a high-dollar, white-collar criminal and you're used to just like throwing money and getting shit done for you. It doesn't happen in the feds. We've seen guys. I've got a client, Todd Hansen, spent mid six figures on legal defense and was still looking at 17.5 years in the end. Luckily, with some brilliant effort put in by Todd, taking some advice from what we do as prison consultants and what we coached him to do, he ended up only getting 8.5 years, which was still a lot of time, but he was looking at 30, then he was looking at 17.5, and the judge big time downward departed because of all the effort Todd put in. So I can't stress it enough, guys, how important it is to take this serious and don't just put blind faith in your legal defense, because they, probably don't know much at all about RDAP. They're not going to know much about, they're not going to explain what you need to put into your personal narrative. All they're going to say is write a letter to the judge. Get some letters from friends and family. We see letters from friends and family every day on character reference letters and personal narratives that the attorneys had already read. Clients send them to us to review them, and they're 90% garbage. Not that it's spelled poorly or bad grammar, but the direction of the letter and the impact that the person is trying to create. You are not going to connect on any type of human emotional level with the judge. He's not going to go, this poor person made a mistake and doesn't deserve to go to prison because they've never been in trouble before. Almost everybody that we deal with, it's their first time getting in trouble. And everybody feels like they're in this isolated incident to where other people haven't gone through this. But everybody's going through what you're going through. You're not special. You're not unique. You are just like the run-of-the-mill average person getting in trouble for the first time. So once you identify that and you realize that whatever shitty letter you're thinking about writing, trying to explain to the judge that you've got children that need you, you've got a sick mother that needs you, you've got, sicknesses that you need special medication that the prison's not going to be able to deal with. The judge has seen all of that a million times before, and he doesn't care. We just watched an interview, or we just watched a video that I did last week where we posted up an interview with a judge that was interviewed by another prison consultant, Michael Santos. We saw the interview from this judge, and the judge says, I've never seen anybody put that much effort into a personal narrative, getting it entered into the pre-sentence report. I think that's an amazing idea. That would really give me a different opinion of the person that I'm going to be sentencing based on what's in that narrative. If it's a good narrative and it doesn't seem like it's full of shit and it seems sincere, at the same time, accountability, those are the areas that we focus on, and people just don't see the benefit. They'll go drop $10,000 to $100,000 on legal attorneys all day long. They call it the prison consultant. The prison consultants charge anywhere from my fee of $1,500 all the way up to $10,000, and they're like, "Oh, I can't waste that kind of money." Okay, then do extra time in prison. When people tell me, "I'm not sure I can afford it," I was like, "You're asking yourself the wrong question. Can you afford not to do it? We'll make it affordable for you, but get over that mindset of you don't want to part with your precious money, or you don't want to go borrow money from somebody, because how much extra is it going to cost you to stay in prison for an additional year, 18 months, 2 years? This is time you could be out working. And chances are, if you're out there working in the real world, you're making more than $1,500 a year, and whatever the cost is going to cost for a prison consultant to work with you to make sure that you're going down the right path. I'm not going to say every prison consultant has your best intentions, because they don't. Some of them are just there to, using their fact that they were in prison to get you to give them money and, tell you, oh, personal narratives don't matter. Character reference letters don't matter. Why are you building a mentor network? Why are you going and doing community service? Why are you going to AA and NA meetings? The judge isn't going to care about any of that. Is there a chance the judge isn't going to care about it? Sure. Is there a chance the judge is going to care about it? Absolutely. So it's, okay, 50-50. Now, is there a chance the judge is going to go, you went to AA meetings, I'm giving you additional time? Come on. No, there's not. So there's no downside to doing these additional exercises that we're going to be encouraging all of our clients to do, on top of coming up with great exercises and how you can deal with the anxiety and the fear that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. This is the stuff that we focus on. This is what separates us from every other prison consultant out there, is A, we're not just thinking how much can we charge based on fear. We know your attorneys are charging you big dollars. So if we know your attorneys are charging you, let's say, 50 grand, we're like, well, we could charge 5 or 10% of what the attorneys charge. That's still fair. Okay, is it fair? Maybe. But can everybody afford it? No. Can everybody afford $1,500 for the most part if they really believe that it could possibly make a difference? I believe they can. If I would have found out there was a prison consultant that would have been willing to help me for $1,500, and he showed me what he was doing, and he had a good track record, and people were following him, and people were praising the information that he was doing, I would have definitely done that. But when I spoke to prison consultants, the minute I told them I didn't have the $10,000 fee that they wanted, click, See you later, Dan. We can't help you. Good luck. You're probably going to end up in a medium. You're probably going to get beat up, and you might even get raped because you don't know where you're going. It's like they use these scare tactics to scare the shit out of you into hiring them, and then when you hire them, you don't even know what you're getting. So just be careful of the information that you guys are going through. So Amanda, my best advice to you is if you don't watch this video, I'll send you a link when we're done. Go watch the video, and then you and I will have a conversation, and you'll be able to decide whether or not you think that you can go through this on your own. And a lot of people can. Not everybody needs a prison consultant. We've got enough videos with enough content and enough information that if you guys really do your homework, you could probably piece it together and do what you need to do. The big thing is the personal narrative and the character reference letters. That's, I would say, the biggest part of the puzzle that you're probably not going to be able to do on your own, only because you haven't gone down this road before. That's going to be the big, I'm not going to say it can't happen, but that's going to be the biggest struggle, is making sure that those letters are correct. Super important. So make sure, A, you subscribe to my channel so you get these updates and notifications. Don't forget to text the word YouTube to 35074 to get on our notification list. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat, Twitter, all these different places. Starting to get a little bit more busy on social media. I really appreciate all of the people that have come over from After Prison Show over from Joe's channel. I definitely plan on doing some additional videos with Joe. That was really fun. I'm not going to lie. It was beneficial in several different ways. Because look, it gets busy, it gets exhausting, and doing something like that is like a break. You know, working with Joe is different from my everyday type stuff. So doing things with Joe is I get to reach out to a different type of mentality of person that's probably watching this channel. Mike, I can make $1,500 selling oranges on the freeway. Good point. Will, now I'm asking my lawyers for an item list of what right. So now Will wants to know what the money was spent on. You know, Will got probation. Will thought for sure he was going to prison. His attorney said there's no way, you can't get probation. Prosecutor said no way, not giving probation. Will did everything that we guided him into doing. And it wasn't easy. There's plenty of days where Will called me up and he was super stressed out thinking, man, what am I going to do? Can't believe I'm going to prison. I'm like, dude, you're not going to prison yet. So quit talking like you've already been defeated and get back in that fucking ring and start swinging and dodging and moving, and don't give up. Don't give up until the end, because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. At sentencing, against prosecution, against what Will's attorney told him, the judge completely just said, you know what? I don't think you need to go to prison. You've done more than anybody else I've ever seen come in this courtroom to not only prepare for this day, but to show me that you're actually atoning for what you did. You're not just saying a bunch of things. Everything you're saying has been followed up by some type of action that's gone on for several months. The judge gave him probation. Will's sitting in here talking to us right now because of all the effort that he did. Now, that doesn't mean that's going to happen for every single person, but just knowing that that opportunity exists, everybody should be putting in that same type of effort. And they're just not. Sadly enough, they're not. If I hit the money symbol, YouTube takes a cut. Don't want that, really. I appreciate that. Man, Brian. And just so you guys know, any money that comes in right now, guys, from donations is going to the animal shelter that I'm working with, just because there's some really bad animals over, not bad like bad animals, but animals that need help. So I will give you another way, Brian, that I'm going to do for you right now. I have a PayPal donation account. I'm all prepared because YouTube does take a nice little chunk, but hey, man, it's all good in the hood. So let me get you this, Brian. Give me 1 second here. Come on, open up, and we're almost there, Brian. Copy. All right, got it. All right, here you go, Brian. If anybody does, so you can go right there, just paypal.me/RDAP DAN. That's a donation site that we bring in money for a lot. We have been helping a lot of inmates as well, guys that don't have money, commissary, hygiene, stuff like that. But also now we're also kicking back a little bit to some animals. I've been working at this animal shelter because I've got community service for my own RDAP, for my probation, 40 hours, which I'll be knocked out this week, but I'm going to continue to work over there. And it's just really sad to see these animals, how people just abandon them. I mean, abandoned. And these are good animals. These aren't like mean animals that are like, man, no one's going to be able. These are like the sweetest cats. And there's a bearded dragon, and there's snakes, and there's a rooster. So this lady takes in different types of animals that people won't take in. Will you guys donate to me if I go to prison? Jesse Tang, if you actually tell me who you are, and I know who you are, and I know that you're struggling. I have a lot of guys on my list that I know are struggling that we send money to every single month. We probably spend over $1,000 a month on guys that are in prison. And not all of that comes from YouTube. That's money that we kick back as well, because I've seen guys in prison. I was fortunate enough to have commissary in prison and have money on my books every week. But I saw a lot of guys that didn't have it. And not to say you can't get by without it, but it really gives you a different type of time to do. And prison time is bad enough. When you're watching everybody go around the unit and they've got their snacks and they're cooking stuff and you can just smell it, you're always hungry. Imagine when you're at home and you're hungry and somebody starts cooking food in the house. You're like, ooh, that smells good. I'm going to go get some. Well, in prison, you're smelling all this yummy food, and the only way you're getting some if somebody feels, they come up and offer you. Not everybody has friends and family that are in the position to give money to somebody in prison. A lot of people in prison understand that. They're not going to take money off of their kids' plates. So we do it. And most of these guys aren't asking for donations. These are guys that we know, or women that we know, from viewers, from other people that are like, hey, here's a guy that's in prison. He's not begging. He's not asking for anything, but he could definitely use it. So when we have people that appreciate it and people that we know it's gonna go to a good cause, and these people are gonna do the right thing with it and share that information. A lot of these guys will send me emails back saying, hey man, I appreciate it. $30-40, whatever we put on his books. He bought stuff and shared it with other guys that didn't have anything. So it's like this cycle of community of people helping people, and that's what our motto has always been. So you guys have the ability to help and share and give that back as well. I'm not asking anybody to do something they can't afford, but animals as well, guys. Animals. I forgot who it was. Somebody posted on one of the comments, and they were upset that they said it was lame that I was asking for donations for animals. And he's like, no way. And this is the guy that's been watching my videos for a while. And what I can say to that is like, look, I know people, not everybody's going to be compassionate to animals, but animals can't pick and choose who their owners are going to be. They can't pick and choose how they're going to get treated. They can't pick and choose how they're going to survive. If an animal has a shitty life because he has a shitty owner and he's abandoned and he can't open his eyes and he's malnourished, it's not that animal's choice. So I choose to engage and be involved and stuff like that, and it's a good feeling to see that you can help an animal thrive. And they have little personalities, and if you don't know that animals have personalities, you haven't allowed yourself to connect to an animal. So if those of you are offended that I'm asking for donations for animals, there's a unsubscribe button right next to the subscribe button, and you can unsubscribe to RDAP Dan. I will not be offended, but it's my show, it's my channel, so I get to dictate what we do. All right, so we raise money for animals and inmates. Maybe we'll add to that. We'll add to that tally. Ha ha. So anyway, what else we got going on? Letters are good. Yep, Jay's another client. We got some clients in the house. Hunter's like a client because Hunter was quite the awfulizer. I used to get emails from Hunter when he was in prison, freaking out about getting removed from RDAP. Just always thought he was going to get kicked out of RDAP. And I think everybody in RDAP thinks that, but Hunter was really awfulized and on his sleeve. Hunter even made a couple little hiccups while he was in the halfway house and just awfulizing from some seemingly unimportant decisions that can have major effects on what happens to us while you're under this microscope. Remember, while you're in prison, while you're in the halfway house, while you're on home confinement, And while you're on probation, you are under a microscope. You are not like everybody else in the real world that can make little shitty decisions and have these giant life-pounding consequences. But when you're in that environment, a little mistake can fillet you. And if Hunter would have messed up while he was in the halfway house, if he would have messed up bad enough, they would have taken his RDAP away from him. What does that mean? That means that year that he got off, he's got to go back and do it in prison, plus the halfway house time. My situation, as you guys know, I almost went back. I went back to county jail for 27 days for the vending machine incident. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go through my videos and look for the one about the vending machine, and you can see the video. They almost took my RDAP away from me. And remember, I got a year for RDAP, 11 months halfway house. I would have went back for almost 2 years. Luckily, I challenged it, and I fought it and made them review the tapes, and I won. So they had to give me my good time back and all that stuff and didn't take anything away from me. But I still had to spend 27 days in Spokane, Washington County Jail, which was by far worse than the entire time I was in prison. That 27 days was straight lockdown. 27 days in a single-man cell. Well, two-man cell, but several days of that 27 days was by myself for 23 hours a day in a small space with a toilet, a sink, and a bunk bed. That's it. Not enough space to do anything. You really do find out a lot about your mental strength, because it makes you want to just freak out and like bang your head on the wall and go crazy, because people are not meant to be in solitude away from other people. We are creatures that need to communicate, and we need to have relationships with other people, whether it be on the phone, whether it be in person. And in there, you're just by yourself. You're secluded. You just feel alone, and it's very depressing. There's guys that have been in county jails for years waiting for their trials that didn't get bond, and they sit in that environment. And it's almost like you wonder if it's a game that they're playing because they want you to take a plea, and they figure at some point you're going to break because you're sitting in this shitty environment for so long. It really institutionalizes you very quick. It's not like prison at all. So I don't recommend it. Hunter Moore, what are you promising? Dan, I got banged for 24 hours on Facebook for calling that lady talking shit to you. Really? That's what I'm saying. You got to be so careful. People, like when you're in the house, Hunter Moore was on my Facebook, and there was some lady on there that was just attacking the crap out of me. Some anti-RDAP Dan lady who doesn't know me at all, just doesn't think I should be helping women because I'm not a woman. So whatever her reason is, Hunter Moore went on there and got into a little heated discussion with her, and evidently he got in trouble for doing that. That's not something you get in trouble for in the real world, but in the federal halfway house, everything is micromanaged. So guys, watch your P's and Q's. Don't take anything for granted. Don't think you're free. Don't think you got it all figured out. Keep on your toes, stay diligent, because at any moment that rug can be swept from underneath you, and before you know it, when the U.S. Marshals came and picked me up from the halfway house, when they took me back to county jail for 27 days, I thought I was toast. It was a worse feeling than the day the feds originally got me, because now you know how the system works. You know there's no point in begging, there's no point in saying anything. You just go through the motions, and your face just becomes somber, and you harden up a little bit because you got to start preparing mentally. You're like, I'm going into county jail. This is going to suck. They're going to strip me down, take all my clothes off. I'm going to be laying in a bunk. I'm not going to have any deodorant. Your armpits are going to start stinking. You can't take a shower whenever you want because you're locked down in the cell for 23 hours. They let you out for 30, 40 minutes a day, so you get that one shower, and you just lay there in the bunk all day. You start sweating again within 30 minutes. You're stinking because you don't have any deodorant. It's a horrible, miserable experience. And it's very inhumane is a good word. Inhumane. The way that we treat inmates, especially in a county or state environment. The way I was treated in federal prison was not bad. Wasn't bad at all. It was more like prison daycare. County jail was like, fuck this. Whatever I got to do, get me out of here. No, he got in trouble from the halfway house. The halfway house was probably monitoring his Facebook. So animals are innocent creatures who live in prison. Yep, I agree. I do agree with that statement, Jesse Tang. Well, anyway, guys, I can smell dinner cooking, and it smells amazing. Not sure what she's... what are you making? Carne asada tacos. All right. So that's what I'm about to go dig into. I can smell them cooking in the background. So look, if you guys got any questions, if you think you're going to be facing federal prison, if you've been watching these videos for a while and you just haven't taken it to the next step, you haven't picked up the phone, I'm telling you guys, I've said this a million times, it's not going to cost you a dime to call or text me, ask some questions, get a better feel for what you're going, clear your mind, reduce some anxiety, go do some push-ups, go for a walk, call RDAP Dan. Part of your plan should always be call RDAP Dan. That's catchy, right? Part of your plan, call RDAP Dan. All right, I'm going to get a shirt that says that. Anyway, guys, have a fantastic rest of your week. We will be back Saturday. I'm putting a little video together for these animals that I'm working with because every day it blows my mind what these people go through to help these animals. And it's just insane because people should be helping. We should be caring more about these animals. So we're going to talk about that some more. It's going to be in a whole nother video. I'll see you guys on Saturday. If anybody has any questions, reach out. I'm RDAP Dan. Have a fantastic week. I love every single one of you. Without you guys, we would not exist. So keep it going. People helping people. Community is method. One day at a time. Later, guys. Have a great night. It doesn't want to stop. Always does that. Okay, we're stopping.